Welcome everyone, viewers across the world, lovers of freedom and fellow Biafrans. I thank you for being part of this platform. Thank you for joining us on this very program. Please kindly like and share to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to those that are close to you to get the update that is coming from our platform. Our duty here is to present information the way it is. We don't try to be politically correct. We say things and we bring information even from their own conventional media. I want you to pay attention to this video that I'm about to share with you. We are going to watch it together. At the end of this day, we will go and give our comment on the comment section. Let us pay attention to every single information that is coming. You'll be glad you did. Let's watch it together. Thank you, and let's watch.
Traveling at night. But even traveling today has become something in which you have to be a prayer warrior. And if you manage to make it back home, you will meet empty store in your house, no food. And if you're not careful, you go back to work, your employer will tell you there's no money to pay for the salary. And if you get the salary, it can't buy you anything. And if you are complaining, majority of people surrounding you will say, oh, you are lucky to even have a job. So start with, people live in poor housing condition, no electricity, no water. Even for internet broadband is getting worse. You can't make a complete telephone conversation without the call dropping. And if you are worried about the poor condition of your housing, your landlord is going to increase the rent. And you have children at school. Even the government has become their Shiloh. Government that, under the Constitution, is obligated to give you free and qualitative education, or at least affordable and qualitative education. It's giving you teacher strike and student loan. So you take the loan, government now becomes your creditor. Yet, the education is not being offered because the teacher is on strike. So, and if you worry yourself too much, you have a headache, then your problem has just started. You go to a hospital, if they tell you how much you have to pay, the headache will become a migraine. So, and that migraine will become a depression, where you discover that at the end of the day, you give you the medicine, there's no food to eat, to take the medicine. So that is the scenario that is a living condition of the people. You don't have to love or hate President Tinubu to get these facts. Even if you conduct a research inside the villa, State House, those who work there, some of them beg for transport money to go home. And they work for the President of Nigeria. So that is the state of Tinubu economics. And that is the state of Tinubu security, or lack of it. And in the midst of all of this, there's an obscene obsession with politics and politicking with everything. So where do you go? You cannot go 5 houses before you meet a Renew Hope ambassador. Every idle politician is a Renew Hope ambassador. But the country itself has no ambassador.
Nobody has no hope.
Exactly. And so that is the situation with the state of the country. So you don't have to be on opposition to say, in fact, the real opposition now are the hungry people. So telling them what they already know is, there's no creativity in that. It is finding solution. That's what people like us are out for. We're regaling the country and with the litany of problems that we have. Every list of your problem becomes old when you wake up the next day. Because new problems join. So people are more focused now on solution. And the broad outline of that solution is that Tinubu should be gone. Just like Tinubu said on May 29, 2023, subsidy is gone. On May 29, 2027, I want to be in Eagle Square announced Tinubu is gone.
Looking at what the issue of insecurity, which is the paramount thing now, and the Constitution talks about the cardinal responsibility of any responsible government is the protection of lives and property. We are discussing negotiating with terrorists here and there. They release today, they go back and pick again. How do you feel as a Nigerian?
There is no negotiation with terrorists. What you have are official terrorists and bush terrorists having a conversation. So what you call negotiation is the discussion about sharing formula between the official terrorists who bring the money and the unofficial terrorists in whose name they are collecting the money. It's a racket. They are running a racket in front of you. There's a lot of money in government, and insecurity is one way to collect it without receipts. That's what they are doing. They're just scamming the Nigerians. There is no insecurity in the land that Nigerian armed forces and Nigerian police cannot get rid of under a good presidential system, under a good presidency. They will get rid of it. What they are doing is just scamming you. Just that they are constructing roads to nowhere. They are building on bridges that will never finish. There are a lot of projects in the sky. They found out that all other projects, you ask them, where's the road? Where's the bridge? Where's the school? But if they inundate you with insecurity, you cannot, and they say they have rescued 500 children, and 500 billion is gone. You cannot ask for receipt. If they are in the bushes, exchanging food and drinks with terrorists, and I tell you that they have spent 4 trillion to keep you secure, you know you can't ask questions. That's why the president will tell you, every president will tell you, I will finish them. But when he comes in, they finish him with money. And he feels, okay, this is an easy way to raise money for campaign. That is why Nigeria has, in the world of hotel business, Nigeria has the highest number of military generals owning hotels, estates, and everything, on a salary of how much?
All right, let's look at, let me play the devil's advocate. If you have made the president today...
There are enough devils in the country already, but you go ahead.
All right. Let's see, if you have made the president today, how will you address some of these challenges that you have pointed out that have consequence of almost failed Nigerians? How will you address it in 30 days?
The first thing to do is that you have to get a priority right. You have a pact with whoever you are going to make Chief of Army, Chief of the Navy, Chief of Air Force, Head of the IG of Police, DG of DSS, DMI, NIA, Civil Defense. You talk to everybody. I want the terrorists gone in 30 days. If they don't go in 30 days, you give me your letter of resignation. Simple. I'm not recruiting one more person to join you. I'm not doing anything. I am telling you in 30 days, or if you think you can't do it, don't take the job now. So that's the understanding between you and me when I'm giving you the job. And you will say, I can't do the job. Give it to the next person. I retire you and give it to the next person. Until I find somebody who says, yes, we die here. Either, sir, I will be dead, or the terrorists will be dead. That is the person who can head my armed forces. Anybody who wants to go and run for governor later, saving money for it, go and find out what is the trajectory of all the service chiefs we have been having since 2008, when they foisted this scam for Boko Haram on us. Go and find out. Their trajectory is towards politics and big business. So I need to put a stop to that. Second, I need to govern the country according to the law. There is no terrorist who should be bigger than the divisional police officer in that division. Anything that will make me have a DPO in a police division that has a smaller gun than a terrorist, then I don't have a police. The biggest gun in the land ought to belong to the army. The next biggest gun should belong to the police. And there should be no terrorists who should be able to upset the armed forces. I don't know if you have organized a choir before.
Sure.
Once your choir members are up to 45, you must buy Panadol extra to coordinate them. Imagine an untrained person who happens to be a fanatic or a lunatic, and he says he's setting up a band of terrorists, and they are occupying territories the size of a state. How are they financing it? The logistics of it, the communication, and the whole country cannot raise an army to defeat them. If a terrorist is recruiting, before you can get 1,000 people, the government will know that it's a terrorist already. Government can quietly recruit 100,000 soldiers and nobody will know, and train them. A terrorist can be sponsored by 2 or 3 countries. Nigeria has 146 international friends. Many of them have treaties with us that will not stop them, that will not allow them to give excuses not to assist us. And many of the terrorists are well known. They have telephone numbers of governors. And every commissioner of police in the state has the telephone number of terrorists in that state. So, I will end this scam. Oh, clear. There's nothing complicated there. The real terrorist is in the Azo Villa. The headquarters of Boko Haram is the same address of Tinubu. So if you post a letter to Tinubu, if it doesn't come out on time, Boko Haram will collect the letter and read it and pass it to him. They live together. They work together. They plan together. And they share together.
How do you mean that the headquarters, the address is at the villa?
Because the villa, the state house, is where all this criminality is being planned. If you deceive yourself and think that Nigerian army cannot defeat the terrorists, then you don't know Nigerian army. Try and whistle at the wife of a general, and you see how the entire barrack will descend on you. Try and a home minister of FCT could not collect 1 plot of land. You saw how that Navy captain stood his ground there, telling Wike, yes, we are not coming here. Imagine if every captain stood their ground and said terrorists not entering Nigeria like that. If the armed forces strong enough to stop a minister who is representing the president from misbehaving on the land that he has interest, say, I have my orders. So are you telling me if the president of Nigeria gives an order that the whole of Lagos State should be evacuated, the army in Lagos will evacuate everybody? If they give an order that the whole of Kano State should be evacuated, the army has enough capacity to evacuate the whole state. The president made a proclamation, and the entire government house was forcibly evacuated in 1 day. So you are telling me that the president wants to end this thing, he will not end it. But their political money is tied to it. And if you think maybe because I don't like them, which I don't pretend about that. Go and read the EFCC reports on what Jonathan did with the money he borrowed in the name of fighting Boko Haram. You are a journalist. You saw the trials. You saw the investigation. Who was collecting the money? The money was shared to politicians, girlfriends, contractors. Let's say we're even a nation of cripples. That sometimes in the past, there was no proper polio vaccination. A majority of Nigerians are crippled, we have no leg. We have enough resources to hire machinery to kill the Boko Haram and terrorists and bandits. 5% of the money we make from gas, liquefied LNG, is enough to hire mercenaries. There are countries that are small, like Qatar, Kuwait, and all of that. And they have vast land. It's impossible for them to raise an army, because their entire population is like a campus, a university campus in Nigeria. But they hire experts and their country is still safe. How can Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, all those tiny population countries have feelings you can drive anywhere you like? I travel to those countries, I drive day and night in vast open land where nothing to stop you. If you want to invade, nobody is invading them. Your TV station, I've seen you with a number of drones because you like to cover a wedding, a football match, or anything. But our Nigerian police will be using word of mouth to look for bandits and terrorists. They can't even hire a drone. And they have billions. The person Tinubu put as his Minister of Defense, of all the people in Nigeria today that know something about defense, says that bomb cannot enter bushes. That when the bush is too thick, a bomb cannot enter. That's how we can catch terrorists. That is the Minister of Defense. Even in a comedy skit, a Minister of Defense will say, no, this is too stupid. I can't say it. But he said it. So governors who were known and were accused of being Boko Haram collaborators, they are the ones he put in charge of defense. So if you are a terrorist and your best buddy is in charge of the army of the other side, won't you go and buy a bottle of champagne and first chill and say, okay, the business has continued? So they're not serious. It gives the feeling to Nigerian people. They make the army look fatigued so that when you see the army, you don't have confidence anymore. I remember during the time of 2023 election, was late 2022, I was campaigning to Zamfara State. I will go to the border and the army said, sir, you cannot pass. It's night. There's a curfew. Nobody can pass here. Yeah. We have somewhere to go. What do you mean by that? They say, Boko Haram's on the way. We said, well, we still have to go. I want to be commander-in-chief of armed forces. How can I not be able to walk around my country again? So if escort us, they said no. So one of my campaign managers, Lawa, said, look, let's go and get vigilante. And we got vigilante. And they enter our convoy. And we go and we go and they will say, look at Boko Haram people there. And the vigilante came down, chased them, and they were running and we passed. And I came back and I gave an interview on TVC that, hey, this thing is a scam. I went somewhere 2 days ago, and the army told me nobody can pass. And I took vigilante and we chased them away and we passed. That's far back as 2022. It's 3 years plus now. So what I'm letting you know is that big coup in Guinea-Bissau that they did now. If they tell the 3D, the 3rd Division of Nigerian Army, go and flush them out, they will go and flush those people out. Nigerian Army, Nigerian forces can flush out Boko Haram, and Nigerian police can secure this country if there's a political leadership that says, do it. But there's nobody who is a commissioner of police, AIG or DIG, who too doesn't want to be a billionaire, and a governor, and a minister, and a senator, if that is the business of the day. There's nobody who's a general who sees his cosmate building hotels, estates. Go and take Nigerian Army military intelligence, just watch the spouses of your military officers. See them go to Madeira, go to Dubai, go to Cancun, go to the best places, shopping and buying things which the lifetime salary of their husband cannot afford. When serving military officers are sponsoring people for governor, concerning for that. So, I don't blame them. I blame the person who claims to be commander-in-chief, who is not doing the job. So that is what is happening. And if Nigerians don't understand that the spelling of Boko Haram is the same spelling as government, and that if the government wants to do it, they can do it. And your job is to make them do it, not to listen to any excuses. Make them do it.
All right, let's move on. There are so much hardship in the land. Fuel prices, since the removal of subsidy, the price of fuel has been jumping up and down. And of course, the naira, the purchasing power of the naira is virtually nothing to talk about. Food inflation is hitting the rooftop. and so many others. And you've been very vocal in addressing some of these issues, condemning them. If you are to ask, what is their economic rescue plan?
It's basic. First, stop the stealing of government money. Then stop running a lawless government. Follow the Appropriation Act. First, account.
Egumu watu mwenu mo amandianeze.